Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Northwest Craftsman. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really quick and easy set of cauls to keep all of your panel glue ups nice and flat throughout the entire thing without breaking a buck and probably with some scrap you have around the shop. Alright, let's give it a look. A common problem that you'll run into when you're trying to do a glue up on panels is that your edges aren't going to be quite even. I mean, if you join to your boards and plane your boards really nicely, a lot of times you can get your edges to line up, but then as soon as you clamp them together, they start bowing and warping and doing all sorts of things. And so what you want to do is have a pair of cauls that you can clamp on the top and bottom to keep all of your boards flat all the way across. On something this large, which is about 50-55 inches across, you should only need two sets of cauls, kind of 1/3 and 1/3, but with this method you can make basically as many as you want. To start, all you're going to want to do is take some 2x construction lumber, or frankly any other scrap that you have lying around that is in the length that you need to clamp. So in this case I've got 35 inches across. I want to make a 36-inch caul because that also will work for a lot of my other projects. If you're using 2x4s, you don't need to do anything outside of rip a nice, clean, flat edge. You don't have to worry about all three others, but just make sure that you've got one edge that is nice and clean and flat. For me, because I was using 2x6s, I basically just ripped them in half, and then I end up with a nice edge on all of them. Now remember, you're going to want one for the top, one for the bottom, so this is two sets of cauls. Next, you're going to take some packing tape and you're going to cover this entire surface. The purpose of the packing tape is to make sure that the glue does not stick to your caul, because if you just try to use this as is, and I have done that before, you will glue the wood straight to whatever piece you're working on, and it will be basically impossible to get off. So don't forget the packing tape. You want to run it all the way across the top here. Next, during your glue up, take your newly made cauls, put one on the bottom, one on the top, clamp the two together in as many places along the edge as you can, because you want to put a nice even clamping force on it, and then it should just equalize all the different panel surfaces. And voila, there you go. For even better results, you can put more cauls in there. Like best case scenario, you can see me having to clamp the ends over here. I would put one set of cauls right on the very end because it allows you to clamp just like this, and then do a couple more cauls in the middle. The downside that you're going to run into by trying to do the middle cauls is that you only have clamps that you can put on the end, and so the purpose of these is to try and distribute that load all the way across the length of the cauls, which is relatively difficult regardless of what type of cauls you have. The taller you can make them, the better off you are, or the stiffer you can make them, the better you are. So I've got softwood. If you used hardwood, that would be better. But that's also why the industrial expensive cauls that you're going to see are made of stainless steel and have kind of an I-beam or a U-channel texture or shape, because that allows them to be really stiff with not a lot of space. So with wooden ones, you've got to go a little bit bigger, but if you're in a pinch and you really need to get your panels flat, this is a pretty darn good way to do it. Okay, so are these cauls perfect? No, they are not perfect. They're not going to do the most industrial best job. However, what it will enable you to do is to do larger panels than you would otherwise without having to go buy expensive cauls. There's a couple of other options you can get out there. I'm not dissing any of these brands. In fact, I was very close to purchasing a couple of these because I'm going to be doing a lot of panel work coming up, and having a nice set of clamping cauls would be really good. However, in a pinch, if you're trying to save some money, this method is going to be just fine, and it's going to let you get a lot lot further than you would have been able to otherwise. If you have any questions about the process that I used or how to make cauls or kind of questions about the cauls, go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below. And if you like the kind of content we're producing here at Northwest Craftsman, I'd love it if you put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. I love seeing questions from you guys. I love seeing you guys involved in the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to get some merchandise to support the channel as well, go ahead and check out the link in the description. You can get hats, you can get t-shirts, you can get all sorts of stuff, and you'll see me wearing those shirts and hats periodically on the channel. I love them. They're super, super comfortable. That was really important to me, and I've been wearing mine for a few months now, washing them pretty regularly, and they're durable too. So that's one of the challenging things that you get on these direct-to-print garment merchandise companies, but these ones seem to be pretty durable. It seems like the technology is improving, so they should stick around for a very long time if you get one. So anyways, thank you guys so much for the support. Really appreciate it, and thank you guys for sticking around so long. See you next time. Go make yourself some panels.